Hello, I'm John Nolan. I'm one of the trainers and ACT therapists here at Mindfulness Mavericks. In this video, I'm going to quickly go through stress and mindfulness, or more particularly, could mindfulness be a skill that's valuable to you going through your stressful times? So rather than going through lots of research, and which there's tons of it, I'm going to talk about what happened to me. Two different episodes in my life that were exceedingly stressful, and how, using mindfulness in one of them, it was very different. First, though, as a background, you may not be aware that I'm blind. I'm registered blind, and I have an absolutely gorgeous guide dog called Laura who helps me around the world. She's a complete monkey. She's a good, hard-working dog, though. For blind people, it's exceedingly difficult to get paid work. Amongst most disabled groups, it's the group that finds it hardest to be employed. Just look around at your own job. Imagine you suddenly couldn't see. Could you even do your job? Being blind means that it's very difficult to get a job. Now, that's important in both these stressful situations. Right, let's talk about the first one that happened just over 20 years ago. I was employed by the health service. It was a technical job. I was actually in computers. The government at the time, for its own reasons, decided to shut a lot of support departments in the health service, so my job suddenly went. No warning, it was literally one day in a job, next day told it was over. Obviously then there's the big concern about finding a job, again, because it happened so quickly, there wasn't time to prepare, and the issues of blindness. Now, that's not the stressful episode. That would be stress in itself. A few weeks later, my wife, who had for well over a year, nearly 2 years, been complaining about problems in her abdomen, in her stomach region, she'd been talking to the doctors and nothing had happened. Then suddenly, about 2 or 3 weeks after I lost my job, somebody finally did some tests and it turned out to be cancer. And that cancer had progressed so far, they couldn't do anything about it, so it was terminal. We were told at the time she would have about 4 or 5 weeks' life. So again, stress levels went through the roof. Because both of us are the sort of people who don't just simply take things. We did a lot of stuff to help ourselves, found other people to help us. So we actually turned it into 18 months of life, some of which was reasonable quality for Sally. And then, of course, she died. During that time, of course, exceedingly stressful. I was completely and utterly exhausted. I was aware that I couldn't make decisions. Simple things like walking into a supermarket to buy tins of soup, and I couldn't decide which one of the two to buy. There was stuff I wasn't facing up to. I constantly sort of felt this dizziness, this almost like drunkenness. I was also losing my language. I couldn't use words. It was almost like a mini stroke. And it was probably 12 to 18 months later that I really started to become normal again after she died. So that was episode 1. A few years later, I've got my act together, couldn't get a job, so I worked for myself. I joined a business with other people and I bought into it and I invested heavily into this business. Then it went wrong. If you've been through a business failure, you know what it's like. It doesn't just happen in one day. You don't wake up one morning and find the business is gone. It's months or years of problems. It was back in the days when the post used to arrive early in the morning, before I used to get up. And I remember several times a month the knock on the door as the postman is delivering yet another recorded letter. And we all know good news doesn't come in recorded letters, it's more bad news. Another solicitor's letter, another this, another that. It was exceedingly stressful. I couldn't sleep properly. The only day I lay in was on a Sunday when there's no post. So again, I was going into this state of not thinking clearly. I was avoiding stuff. Post was building up in piles. Solicitors' letters were just simple. I wouldn't even read them. I couldn't read. Well, being blind, you've got to get somebody else to read it as well. But I just wasn't facing stuff, avoidance, losing language, couldn't make decisions. However, this time round, in the middle of this lot, I remembered about meditation, because I knew meditation was being shown to be helpful for stress. I'd played around with meditation for years beforehand. So I decided, because of the mess I was in, I took myself away for a 1-week retreat in a place in Scotland called Darnacosha. On this retreat, I started developing the mindfulness skills. Suddenly I was starting to get my language back. I was able to much more clearly make decisions. And also, I was avoiding doing the things that had to be done to sort out the mess. Mindfulness did not stop any of the problems happening. They still happen. However, I was relating to that stress. I was responding to that stress very differently, and I was able to get on with it and get through that very difficult period and come out of it. And, well, I'm alive today. So I can compare and contrast that with the second episode, the stress in some way was even greater than with my wife's death, because the implications were so much bigger. I was losing a significant income. I'd invested a lot of money that I couldn't afford to invest into a business that was gone, and so on. So the stress was absolutely huge on the second one, yet I was able to function, I was able to cope, I was able to be a normal human being. I was not going around yelling at everybody anymore. The fear was getting less. There was still a lot of pain in the system, but I could cope. So that's my story. It may not have any relevance to you, or bits may have. So what are the ways forward if you are interested in mindfulness? There's a load of stuff free on the internet now. It's so big now that you can find loads of free stuff. Good place to go. We at Mindfulness Mavericks offer courses, various sorts. Come and have a look at the courses. Follow us on social media so that you can be informed when the next courses are. If what's happening to you is far more severe and you want personal help, give us a call. We'll talk with you. Can't guarantee we can do anything to help, but we can at least have a conversation, figure out if mindfulness could be the way forward for you or not. So if this video has been of value, please like it, share it. Thank you very much. I'm John Nolan from Mindfulness Mavericks.